Brianna.
Hi, I'm Regina.
Welcome to the Daughter Mama Charmarama.
I'm Gen X.
I'm Gen Z.
And we talk about everything, everywhere, according to us.
Today's vibe is sweet beats and sweet treats. Let's go ahead and get into our icebreaker. So, we're going to be spinning a wheel that has a list of all of our favorite artists and stuff on it, and the other person has to guess or say a song by said artist. And if you get one wrong, I get to take one of your candies, you get to take one of mine, and winner gets the most candies.
I really think you're a show-off.
We have some overlap on our lists, but you have people that I never heard of.
Oh, well, maybe you'll learn something.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's good. The generations connect.
Yeah.
X and Z.
James Hall and Worship and Praise.
I'm sorry, what? Is that supposed to be funny?
I don't know anybody. I don't know the song. I don't know.
I literally do not know.
It's on your list.
That does not sound like anything I would listen to.
James Hall and Worship and
An
Praise.
intro to what?
There's no gospel on my list.
There are no words, lyrics, or any composition I can follow.
Then why is it on your list?
Because I wasn't expecting the weird wheel thing.
See, you don't follow directions. And I think maybe we both lose the candy. We both forfeit. We'll have to give it to the librarians or something. Let's try this again. You want to spin? Yeah.
No, you spin.
Okay, let's see if this works this time. Because don't vex me. Okay. Adele. Can you name an Adele song?
Rolling in the deep.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Okay, you get one of my candies.
Thank you. I love these rocks candies. Peppermints are sweet. They are so good. These are not your grandmother's church candies. They're way better.
I'm gonna eat these like candy. Okay, so this one is for me to guess. Let's see. Because I do like my mints and I don't want them taken. Ah! Tanner Adele. So many. Going Blonde. Strawberry Crush. Buckle Bunny. Oh, Buckle Bunny is my jam. That's my stuff right there. I love that song.
I told you she was a show-off.
Sorry.
First of all, I was expecting a clip of the music. You just wanted to name the artist, wherever the wheel lands, name the artist, and then a song. I thought there was going to be a clip of music. So you just wanted to yell out the artist and then me name a song from that artist.
We could try that. Do you want to try the clip?
We're already on the trend.
There we go. So this one is for me to guess. I have to try and guess this person, and I hope they land on your list, because they land on mine. I'm coming for that candy. Nope. My list. SZA. It's crazy. I feel like I just forgot every single SZA song I know.
Yeah, keep that going. I want your candy.
Low.
All right.
Keep it on low. Keep it on low.
And to redeem myself, I am a true blue James Hall Worship and Praise fan, so I will tell the world.
Michael Jackson.
Man in the Mirror.
I was just thinking about this song earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, you get one of mine.
I was thinking Beat It, but I said Man in the Mirror.
I was thinking Bad, but I thought that would be that's too Michael Jackson, you know? That's like, what is that? One of his most popular songs? Like top 3?
Annie, are you okay?
Are you okay? Diana. Okay. James Hall and Worship and Praise again.
Again? I've been changed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You get one.
Yeah. I'm not the same.
The OJs.
The OJs.
I don't know. I recently inherited my grandmother's record collection, and I have an OJ's album in there, but I cannot for life of me name a specifically OJ song. I discovered them through The Fighting Temptations, that movie, and they were the Barbers. She Loves Me Like a Rock.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. That's the only OJ song I know.
If that is even
I don't even know if it's their song, right?
It just escapes me. I keep seeing the dad and Gerald Levert's dad because he's a part of that group, but the songs escape me.
We're both bad.
Yeah, because we're not batting 1,000
at all. Okay, last one. Please be somebody another song. Adele again.
again.
And you already said hello and roll in deep.
Fire to the wind.
Fire to the rain.
Oh yeah. Wind, rain, it's all precipitation. Please stop it.
Fire. Oh my gosh, when I worked at that restaurant that shall not be named, Set Fire to the Rain and Rolling Deep came on very often. I'm talking, it was like every hour and a half at one point. Like, I was able to time it, and I said, I know I love this song. I do love this song, but you're making me hate this lady. Can't do it. And when I worked in the mall, oh my goodness,
Team too much.
It was nothing but like Adele music and Sarah Bareilles.
The thing about working in places where they kind of channel in music all day, it introduces you to different genre, different artists that you can come to appreciate or that you can come to hate, the ones you love. So it's a mixed bag. I remember working for Macy's part-time, and we were there early mornings, like 6 a.m. doing merchandising and staging and all, and they would channel in all of this music. And so you just find yourself either humming along or being grumpy.
We chose to be both. There's only but so many times you can hear the song Royals before it starts to really mess with your brain. So, you know.
I wouldn't mind seeing Adele in concert.
I love Adele. I'd love to see her in concert. She went back on her little break.
Oh, okay.
I think she either just finished up a residency or something, but she's, off with her son now.
That was a great icebreaker. I like that. I was slow on the uptake, but yeah. I redeemed myself.
I love spinning wheels.
And so you won because I only have one piece of candy left.
Yo.
I want a candy box. You said I could shoot this in your mouth.
I'll get scared and duck.
I know. I would hate to do that. You don't know where you're aiming. We love music. Not any kind of music. I personally love music that's poignant in terms of lyrics. I like the big band sound. I love where you can hear the musicianship from actual musicians. You can hear the instruments. And I love strong vocals. And also I love vocalists who have a great range and they don't sound the same on every song that they sing. So music for me has to have like a meaningful type of impact for my life, I want to say. And that's with all genres. It's not just gospel, contemporary, whatever genre I'm listening to, and I don't, branch too far out, but it has to impact me. Yeah. Or it has to answer a call from my soul. You know how we say music, got me through? It has to answer a call from my soul. And that can be any kind of music. So I hope that we're not selling ourselves short, because you never know who the Most High Yah is using, who he's speaking through, and the Holy Spirit is speaking through in terms of music and a song. So don't close yourself off to it. I like the way music can fill a room. If you're feeling lonely or by yourself, or you're going through grief or whatever it is, the right music, the right lyrics or whatever can fill a room.
I agree.
And affect you in a big and huge way that's necessary at the time.
I think listening to music is a spiritual experience, no matter what genre you're listening to. It's impacting your spirit. It's impacting your heart.
Yeah. So when you say that, do you think that we grow in our tastes and the palette for music?
There was a point in my life, and I'm so far removed from this. Please do not judge me. I had a period of I don't know how long it was. It felt like it was a couple months. I was listening to pretty much nothing but boy rap and Beyonce. Like a playlist of Chance the Rapper, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole, and that was it. And there was a few other songs from other artists, but that was pretty much it. And then Megan Thee Stallion, because I had discovered her right around that time. It was a lot. My friends and my roommates were like, she listened to rap music and she listened to all this YN music, she listened to hood music. I was like, right, I'm sorry, Baby Mother has a good song.
Were you going through something?
No. That's the thing. It was a really fun summer for me. That was when things in my life started to get really bad. But at the time, things were fine. It was just before the storm. So I was like, I'm lit.
All fun.
That's just...
I've experienced those times where you just feel kind of fun and light. And I think I would replay over and over Melanie Fiona.
Ooh.
And just watch her videos and listen to music. So there have been times when I would grab certain artists and just, over and over. I remember a summer where one of Lexi Allen, one of her songs, Be Right There, I played that over and over. I plastered that in that when I had that Black Infinity.
Yeah.
Driving on through Virginia Beach, just over and over, Be Right There. Because it was speaking to me. I needed the Lord to be right there.
Yeah.
Like Yahuwah Shema, right there.
Shema.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about our more personal experiences with music. So at what age did you realize you had fallen in love with music?
I think since birth. I remember when I was little, I had this little drum. I think you said my dad got it for me, and it was just this cute little, I would play the same little rhythm on it like day in, day out. And that was like my favorite thing. But I think I'd also been insecure from a very young age because I distinctly remember feeling like I couldn't go any further with it and that it wasn't for me. And it was like one day something just like kind of knocked the drum out of my hands and I stopped playing with it. And I kept it for like a while after that, hoping that one day I would feel strong enough to go back to it. But even at that little 3, 4, 5 years old, I just felt like discouraged. I felt really sad about it. So I never picked it back up again and I felt bad about that. But I did continue to keep my love for music. And a few years ago, I started to learn the guitar. I didn't get to finish that. I'm sad about that. But I can like kind of play some notes on the piano if you like show me where we're going. I can like kind of do that from chorus. But I never really stopped loving music either. I go through different phases with it. I'm real deep in a Beyonce phase right now. Not that it's not like she ever leaves my rotation, but it's me, Beyonce, and Flo every day. And Emotional Oranges. I love Emotional Oranges. They just came out with an EP. It's me, it's us together. And some indie artists.
I like Flo. They have a nice harmony with the three of them. Talented young ladies.
Who had the greatest impact on you for music?
I want to start out with Uncle Alvin. We had an upright piano in the living room, and sometimes he would babysit me for Mom. And he taught me how to play the boogie woogie on the piano. I always wanted to take piano lessons. I mean, it's not late. We can redeem the time. And I think that I'll eventually lock in on that and do it. But that's the song that I learned at probably like 5 or 6 years old, and I never forgot. And then my mom was a music buff. So she would buy a lot of albums and records and cassette tapes, 8-track, whatever it was. Whatever trending music or group across genres. And so they were my biggest influences in terms of music.
Okay, that's cool. Uncle Alvin plays the saxophone, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he plays the sax. He plays several instruments.
He's a bad mamma jamma.
Yeah, he's really good. Now, who would you love to work with in the future?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Beyonce, that's my number one. She is every artist's favorite artist. I love Beyonce.
So let me ask you, this is a little bit off topic as far as music is concerned, but you mentioned your love for Beyonce. What about the controversy regarding her life outside of music? People say that she has influence from her belief system or practices, kind of really marginalize her, I guess, in the industry. So she's not shy about the whole Orisha thing or the attire she chooses to wear.
You talking about people call her a witch?
I haven't heard the witch. People call her a witch?
Yeah, they've been calling her a witch for like a hot minute. It started around the same time as Illuminati allegations back in, what was that, like 2003 or something? I don't care at all. That has literally nothing to do with me. Now, Orisha there are many different, I'll say, like belief systems, religions and things, and the Orisha thing started was when she was pregnant with the twins and she had that performance at the award show. Remember, we all got scared because she did that leaning back in the chair thing. I swear I get heart palpitations every single time I see that video. I get scared immediately. But, I mean, everything turned out fine. But that was when she was embodying the goddess, and I think it was more so just her being proud of her fertility, considering she's had multiple stillborns and miscarriages. I think that was just her being excited about the fact that she had not one, but 2 surprise babies years after the first baby. And she did talk about that in the documentary, about how excited she was to have the babies, considering the time in her life that she was with, the whole like Jay-Z thing and everything. But you've been calling her a witch for years, and she does talk about God also in her documentaries. She's
Yes.
been talking about God for years. And
I've heard her
raised
talk
Christian.
about God. I've heard her talk about going to Noel Jones's church when she was in LA, or going to Donnie McClurkin's church when she was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get in people's head. I really allow rock to lead me.
Yeah.
In terms of what I listen to, what I watch, where I go, whom I'm around, and all that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel that there's a growth, maturity, and development process for every believer. And you may have a taste for something at one time, an appetite for something at another time, and then the Ruach may deal with you and say, I need you to put that away. I need you to move away from this. Or you lose your taste or appetite for it. Or you're no longer anointed in the area to continue with what you're doing. And it doesn't not necessarily in the category of music. It could be anything in life. So we're always supposed to check in. Mm-hmm. But that's the differences in generations and development. So what may sound like noise to me, you absolutely love, mm-hmm. and Ruach hasn't convicted you about it or anything.
Yeah, I feel like
so we have to allow for that in terms of generations and where we are in our walk and where we are in our consecration.
So has the Holy Spirit ever convicted you about lyrics or music or songs or anything?
Yeah, like songs that have a lot of foul language in it, or just rude talk, mm-hmm. degrading, misogynistic type talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speech and speakings or whatever. Like, it's not funny. And so it can invoke different emotions. It can make you sad, or it can make you angry. That type of thing. So,
okay.
But again, there's an age, there's a generation gap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still growing and maturing in the Lord, and you are as well. Mm-hmm. The perfection journey doesn't stop until we get to heaven. So He's completing the work. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't bother me. Now we're in the same house, and you can hear parents have that type of separation with what they like to listen to or prefer to listen to, as opposed to what their children are listening to, and it can bring up great conflict. They're like, put your headphones on, or turn that down, mm-hmm. or don't bring that in my house, or you're not allowed, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's real. That's real.
I remember that. I would have to listen to Arisha CDs sneaky because I didn't think that you were gonna let me listen to like Neo and.
Absolutely. There's a age gap between you and Arisha.
Yeah.
She's much older, at least 10 years older than you.
10 years, yeah.
So there's no way you're old enough to listen to her type of music.
I was so sick of love songs at 7 years old, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Over somewhere crying over Keisha Cole. I should have cheated or something.
It wasn't I should have cheated. It was, which one was it? It was the one with Missy Elliott, right? That was one of them. But I did listen to I Should Have Cheated, but I didn't listen to that till like high school. I didn't even know that song existed.
Well, I just pulled that one out of the hat, but I know, to use it as an example, you were listening to music that was way too old for you. But that's what happens when you have the mix of generations in one home. She's Gen Z, and her siblings are millennial. Mm-hmm. And then I'm Gen X, so you have the whole conundrum of music types and all. But what I love about the four of you is that you were respectful of the presence of the Lord and the anointing. When the Ruach would hit me and I would go into worship and loudly worship and sing, they would quiet down. Mm-hmm. It would take Bri a little longer to quiet down because she was that bubbly, bouncy kids. They had to coach her along, like, stop, let mommy do what she's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you learned. I learned.
Yeah, you learned. Yeah. You learned.
And she does it now. I just put in my headphones and go by my life.
We're respectful of one another's tastes in music. So again, music unites, music can divide, but we shouldn't allow music to bring conflict between us. Yeah. I want to say to parents, allow the Ruach to deal with your children so they can grow and develop and mature regarding what their tastes and appetites are. Of course, you set the boundaries now. That is your house. We have to be respectful.
Yeah. So I try not to play things like Megan Thee Stallion and Flo Milli too loud.
Oh my goodness.
Mona Leo, Glorilla.
It's so funny.
I don't think I've been fully convicted about music, but I have noticed that my spirit and my behavior, even like my thought patterns, are different depending on like what's in my word bank. if I'm listening to too much like female, coochie pop and rap, then I realize that my thoughts are quite literally different because now I'm thinking those words and like my word bank is getting filled up with all of this stuff. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be thinking this often. So I try not to listen to too much like of that kind of music. But sometimes I just get in a vibe. Megan Thee has 2 new albums out. Sometimes I just feel like a vibe, but I try not to make it like an overwhelming amount. Because that was why I stopped listening to so much boy rap in the first place. I started thinking about guns far too often. And it's too much.
I'm glad you can gauge that.
Yeah.
Because it can be sensory overload. It can overload your nervous system, depending on what beats are being used, the origin of the beats, or what's in the spirit of the producer or the singer.
That'd really be it.
Yeah.
Because I've listened to an artist, and they're a relatively new artist, and I was like, I don't like this. And I couldn't figure out why. Until there was the racism allegations, and I was like, oh, you're never going to be those. You're never going to be those. And that would be why. It's like a dark-sided spirit. And I said, okay, we're bowing out.
Yeah. You can really discern what's in a person's spirit when they're in the music industry because of the way it affects you. And Ruach will show you, like, they got this going on.
Yeah.
That's why you can't always cross secular off the list. Can I be transparent? I'm going to try not to cry. Fall last year, my mom became really ill. She had been progressively ill. And it was around October, November, I was getting stressed out about her illness. There were so many symptoms coming up, related and unrelated, or complications regarding her illness. And the doctors were going in all these different directions. And it wasn't like enough information to follow through with any one thing. So I was really irritated, frustrated, and just upset. And the Ruach said to me the lyrics from Marvin Gaye's song, Keep On Dancing, I Gotta Get It Up. So I'm looking around like, why would this? Like, when was the last time I listened to Marvin Gaye? Number one. And number 2, why that song and right now? And so it wouldn't leave me. So I went and listened to it. And I took that as a message to say, give the Lord praise. Just release the frustration, release the irritation, the angst, whatever you're feeling, with praise. And he could have given me a gospel song for that, but I had already been listening to praise and worship. But my mind would still revert back to where my emotional track was regarding my mom. And at the same time, the song was, why should I be bound? When the lyrics were, why should I be bound when God has set me free? And I was like, who sings that song? Or what part of that song? And I Googled it, and it was Marvin Sapp's Perfect Peace. And so those 2 songs really ministered to me greatly last fall and into the winter when I needed it. I needed that boost. So music can bring healing. It can help you find your way back into alignment of peace. And it can send messages that you need for your emotions.
Real. Yeah.
So I appreciate great artistry. So here's another question for you, Bree. Name a student of one of your artists that may or not be on your list.
I didn't put Usher on my list, and I should have, but I think that Josh Levi is a son of Usher. The way he sings and the way he dances and what he sings and dances about. Me and Arisha bonded over this. Arisha and I bonded over that. I was like, girl, you gotta listen to some of his other music. Is it Something More or something? He has a song with Normani, and they are just talking and dancing and dancing and talking. Birthday Dance. Oh my God, Birthday Dance. I love that song. He's so good at dancing and singing. I love him. He's making real yearning music. This is real I like women music. And too many of the R&B men are out here making I hate women music. Not my boy Josh. And he better not betray me, because you know how they be doing. Whenever you compliment them, that's the first thing they go to go out and embarrass you. You better not, sir. Don't make me have to come over there.
That is hilarious. I know as soon as you feel safe to like somebody, you hear something about them or you see something.
Turns out he done ran Granny over and then robbed a 7-Eleven. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off.
I want to chime in on that. Not Mr. October, but October London.
Mm.
I think he is the child or the student of like Kenny Lattimore and perhaps Maxwell.
Okay.
You know, and maybe another kind of king of R&B type with a really good voice and a really powerful sound as far as like love songs are concerned.
Okay.
From a male vocalist.
I love like a man singing about loving a woman. It's beautiful. It's amazing, especially with all of this hashtag hatred going around. I could really use some anti-misogyny vibes.
Right. And I could use songs where women are talking about loving a man. Mm-hmm. Remember that time? Was it last year or the year before last? I think it was the year before last, 2023, and we met Stephanie Mills.
Yes.
We met the
Stephanie
Mills. Speaking about a woman singing about loving a man. I mean, the Stephanie Mills. It was so great. We were in a grocery store. I don't want to give it away where we were, location, anything like that. I mean, you know, privacy. But she talked with us. She was so sweet. She allowed me to reminisce about her time being in New York. And all because I'm from New York. And it was like a reunion or something. I was like, oh, I feel like I've known you my entire life.
And she's like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Like, are you a stalker?
Okay. You're not in danger, I promise.
You're not. I'm keeping a safe space 3 feet away.
Right.
But yes. So I see that on both ends. We need men speaking about loving women and women speaking about loving men. We're better together. We need unity in our community. Mm-hmm. We do not need to be at conflict and at odds. We really have to have a coming together. And the climate in this nation and around the world is calling for us to lean into interdependence and to pull together. So I love that. Love and marriage and family and just song and harmony. Love. Yeah.
Like Victoria Monet's I Still Really Love You.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's beautiful.
Victoria Monet, she's a good singer. I like to hear Coco Jones sing as well.
I adore Coco Jones.
So cute.
Oh, I love me some Coco Jones. She's a singer, she's an actress, she's a dancer. That's my gal.
I love Chrisette Michelle.
Yes.
Chrissy. I love her. Mm-hmm. I love singing.
She's kind of a Delta Raw deal.
Yes.
So what do you think about the controversy with her?
I was upset because it felt like she carried the weight of performing at that inauguration for President Trump in his first term, whereas Travis Green was basically ignored and allowed to just go on.
Snoop Dogg did, and nobody has said a single thing to him about it. But Chrisette Michelle got like canceled, and she's been like ignored and not receiving the love and attention that she deserves over it, and that's misogyny.
It wasn't fair at all.
Just not fair at all.
I think people are saying things about Snoop Dogg like under their breath, but they're not really.
Nobody's really talking trash enough about him
and attacking.
Yeah,
but people have a right for their political views and who they like and who they don't like and who they want and who they don't want. This is a republic, and so our voting process is a democracy. So allow people what they want.
Yeah, she's trying to send a message of unity, and that I can get behind.
I could get behind
that.
I mean, like I just said, we need unity in the community. Literally, we don't need to be in conflict about every little thing, sensitive about every little thing. Everything is some type of seen as an injury to somebody. So
if you had one day of your life to go to see an artist of your choosing, who would it be?
That's really tough.
You only get one day and you only got one ticket.
I don't think I could choose. Like, who do I like that much that I would want to see? Jill Scott.
Oh, she gives a good performance.
I like that she changes it up. Living my life like it's golden.
Yes.
And that song about love, Lizelle and Kiwi, I think that's the name of it. I love her. Rest in peace to Angie Stone. I wouldn't mind seeing her if I had an artist to choose. We met her as well.
We didn't meet her, but we passed by her. She wasn't in a social mood. She was out with her family.
And she was shopping and all, and we really didn't want to interrupt. But I think we should have. She really would have said hi to us.
She probably would have cussed us out. She looked mad. We just like, wait.
Oh, she probably was, shopping and rushing to get ready for the next thing. Our list for favorite musicians, artists, and vocalists kind of differs.
Yeah. There's people on your list that I listen to, like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige. We did listen to Mary J. Blige. I think she was like the #1 secular artist that you would let us listen to, that we would be vibing with.
Yeah.
Be Without You. I was too young to be singing that song, and I sure was. I was heartbroken over I don't know what. I don't know what. I'm over here spinning, sliding, crying down the wall, throwing up. Like,
not just sliding down the wall. That is so funny.
Brandy and Monica.
We mentioned the OJs, and now I have to listen to something by the OJs to just jar my memory, because I really went blank. I used to love listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Again, because of the musical instruments, and they really wore these fancy outfits and bell bottoms and all these ornate outfits and
the platforms.
suits and all. Yes, the platforms.
The platforms.
So 70s.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Love 70s shoes.
Right. The nice shape up afro and the beards. They really put a lot into their, not only their performance and musicianship, but their whole outfits, the whole vibe, the appearance, everything linked together. So I need to listen.
Who on my list do you listen to, or do you like?
Let me see, because I don't know. I mean, I like Flo. There were a couple of songs from Destiny Child. I don't know Little Mix or Cat's Eye, Emotional Oranges. I don't know those people. As far as individual artists, and your friend Danielle, our little sweet Danny.
That's my bestie. She makes music. I'll put her info in the description.
Of course, the Jacksons.
Michael and Janet,
and the whole family, the group. That's about it. I remember when Usher came out with that Confessions song, I was almost offended.
Yeah, Confessions Part 2. I heard Part 2 before I ever heard Part 1. I think it was like years between hearing Part 1. And I was like, she pregnant. Run him over. You need to get run over. Is what you need to get done.
Why are you making music about your divorce? And that was so insulting. I was really upset with him about that.
I said she should have run him over.
Brianna.
But I'm glad he lived and everything is fine. I'm glad they dissolved and everything worked out.
Firecracker, aren't you over there?
Talking about some she pregnant 3 months? Huh?
I was so offended by it. I was like, he had a business.
I was
think about a divorce. Why are we celebrating
I'm
divorce?
upset on her behalf, and I don't even know none of what's happening because I was a child when I listened to it.
It's so funny. You can just go down these rabbit holes.
Yeah.
People's lives. When it comes to music, we just tie everything in.
I'm like, all up in these people's business.
So are there any new artists that you're listening to that you think I should check out?
I'm streaming Raven Lene into billionaire status. No, that Grammy, it's on the way, sister. Yes, it is. I love her. There's this artist, Rakia, that I just discovered. Oh my word, I can't say enough about her. It's breathy. I'm in a real breathy, high pitch type vibe. And that's kind of the kind of music that she makes. It's very breathy, very airy, the like space visual. She used to work at NASA. She literally used to work at NASA.
Wow.
I adore her. Janaya, very good R&B artist. The first song I heard from her was Just Fine. I think I found her on TikTok. There's another girl, Kennedy Ryan, I found on TikTok because she was telling the story about, she said, tell me one more time where your man at. And talking about the baby at home, I said, oh, it's the other woman type deal. Ollie from Bel Air, who plays Carlton, he makes music and it's very good. I like him a lot. I follow him on Twitter too.
But you know who I would love to be in worship with? Psalmist Rain. I absolutely love her, Apostle Psalmist Rain. There's no one like her. I would love to be in a room worshiping with Ty Bello. These are African artists. Victoria Orenz.
I've heard of her.
Nzoko Mambo. I mean, just that deep worship, chasing after the presence of the Lord. I mean, yes, the anointing on it, the power on it. You know, their journey.
That's what's missing from a lot of gospel and like Christian contemporary music. But that's why I don't love Christian contemporary music. It's very new and it's very white regarding like the whole politics and things around it. It's not always a whole lot of like soul and anointing and things on it. And it just feels like they're singing the song and it's a good song and it's great. But I don't feel power from it the way I would from some of the older music that we would listen to.
No, I need to have the power and anointing of, you know, Nathaniel Bassey.
So gospel is your favorite genre, Danielle?
I wouldn't say it's my most favorite, but I pick and choose among gospel artists and gospel choirs. I really love the worship and the prophetic worship, prophetic singing, you know, that high anointing or high dimension type. I don't necessarily like what's called gospel nowadays.
Yeah, modern gospel is in kind of a weird state for me.
Yeah, so it just depends.
I do like Elevation Worship and Maverick City Music. Those are the two that I like go for. I do really like Tori Kelly's Christian music.
I love Tori Kelly.
Love Tori Kelly.
Love her.
That's my goal right there.
Tori Kelly, Jackie Velasquez.
I think Lauren Daigle, Christian Adele.
Love Lauren Daigle.
That lady.
So cute.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I have to pick and choose through. And of course, I used to hate hymns because I was like, why are we singing about this? But some hymns are like the core fabric of our worldview, the Christian worldview, belief system, or believers' worldview. I don't use the term Christian so much because it's
I'll
just...
Fly Away, that one?
Yeah,
I don't really like that one.
there's a storm coming over the ocean. Those type of songs.
It's all worship music. Listening to music is a spiritual experience, and worship music, I think, is something that really feeds the spirit in a way that other genres might not do it.
Right. And then it also depends on the lifestyle, like we said, of the individual who's making the music. Oh my goodness, we can go on and on about music.
We really could.
I just really feel such like a lull.
Yeah.
Right now, just talking about it, a calm.
R&B is my favorite.
Is
but
it?
I'm like, yeah.
But the younger generation, like Gen Z, the younger millennials, are bringing R&B back.
We really are.
Because it kind of slid off the rails there. There weren't any artists who could really sing. It was so much, tech stuff going in to kind of help their voices.
Too much auto-tune and nothing songs. And there was a good hot moment where everything was pop and all the R&B was like kind of fake. People just making the music or singing just to do it. And I said, Black people, now this is where we shine. This is where we come through.
Like, wake up.
Wake up. Like that hashtag bring back the Nehu that was like viral a couple years ago. Yeah, no. Bring it back, because you're not yearning. Bring back people who was singing in the rain, talking about so they would explode if they didn't get back to their lover. Stuff like that.
I love an artist who can do a great cover. And I'm thinking of Shalea. She loves the Lord. She's born again, spirit-filled and all that. But she can do a good cover of an R&B or pop. She can do it with a live band, or she can do it in studio.
That's cool. I think there's value in cover artists. You don't need to write every single thing you sing. Sometimes I'm just here for you to listen to you use your instrument. Use your voice like an instrument.
Right.
And that's fine. We really could go on for hours and hours and hours. But, we've been here long enough. Oh, speaking of hours and hours, Money Long. I love her songwriting. She's been in the game for a while.
Listen, she has a golden pen.
I don't think she's written a bad song. Her song, Cartier, is hilarious.
I haven't heard it.
I like Cartier. Ay.
Okay.
She likes.
I love a good writer because I love to read and I love to write. I love songs with that poetic flow.
Yes, that's how I feel about Kehlani. How do you use words like an art form?
Right.
And not just your voice like an instrument. If you can combine the two, that's incredible. And that's what Beyonce does, and I love that too. But to combine the two, how many different creative ways can you put words together?
AOTY does that as well.
She does.
Brown skin. I was like, oh.
And she plays the guitar. Does she play the guitar and the piano?
She plays the guitar. I don't know if she plays the piano.
She was on Sesame Street. I remember seeing that when I was little. That was funny. Patti LaBelle was on Sesame Street too.
Right, I'm thinking, was Gladys Knight up there?
Probably.
But Leela James, we saw Leela James in person. Tower Records in New York did an outdoor concert. And Mary was there, Leela James. And I think there was another group. Somebody with Levi or the Levites or something like that. But that was a really nice night. That was actually 20 years ago. It was 2005.
So it wasn't right for them.
And
Oh, that was when we saw Mary.
Yes, and we went and
very
talked to
vaguely
them
remember that.
and autographs and all.
As you can see, we're very musical people. Music is so important to us as people and to us as a family. It's been one thing that really brought us together. There was a time, were we all on the praise and worship team?
Oh yeah, you used to sing with the children's choir.
I was little. I was like 2.
I used to do praise and worship, but you kids were in the choir.
Yeah. That was our stuff. That was a good time.
That was really good. Your dad was a musician. He played the drums.
I wish I had stuck with it.
Isaiah can play a beat, with two of the drums. Arisha was gonna learn guitar.
My sister, Arisha, whenever my mom would go out and she would have preaching engagements and stuff and she would have to travel for them, so my sister would be watching us. she would have us sing songs, like sing cover songs. And I remember the one I remember the most was when we sang 525,600 minutes from Rent. We practiced for I think it was like 4 or 5 days straight to sing this song for you. And we sang it and I was like, okay, yeah, this is my vibe. I love this. But I was like so scared in front of the camera. But we sang it and it was amazing.
That is hilarious.
I wish we still had that tape. Yes, tape. I'm aging myself.
She was able to recruit you and Elias to do all of these weird things.
We were forced. We were forced. It was a hostage situation. But we got through it. We got through it. I'm choosing not to tell my therapist about it. I feel like it was an overall positive experience, so I won't need to send her the bill for that.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah. We've been gabbing for like an hour.
Yapping and gabbing. That's what we
and
do.
We could keep going.
But we won't.
Right.
Continue to join us every Friday for a new episode on YouTube, and we look forward to having you. Let us know who your favorite artists are, what your favorite genres are, and just what your thoughts are around music, and we'd love to hear from you.
Bye.